That's right. It's time for everyone's favorite combo. Thomas the Tank Engine and Lightning McQueen. This one is entitled Thomas x Lightning McQueen Smut by Tenny Margaret. Before we get started, gotta make sure to shout out the Patreon and all the patrons for helping fund this endeavor. There's no way any of this gets monetized, clearly, even though it is very family-friendly. Even the families regret it. So, if you'd like to, you can support on Patreon. But let's get things started. Thomas x Lightning McQueen Smut. This is ironic. Thomas the Tank Engine was working a late-night shift at the local car repair shop that was open 24/7. He slumped over the counter and rested his head on the cash register. "I'm so bored. I'm going to rust at this rate," he thought. "At least there's only 20 minutes left on my shift." Out of the corner of his eye, he spotted a fine-looking sports car lingering in aisle 4. Thomas decided to offer this stunning enigma some assistance, both out of obligation and curiosity. "Anything I can help you with?" Thomas asked timidly. The car whipped his head around, and instantly, Thomas felt his engine flutter and throb with lust. The handsome customer in front of him was none other than Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen was an intimidating car. He had smoldering good looks, power, wealth, and was respected. Thomas tugged at his uniform, suddenly self-conscious. He couldn't seem to pull his eyes away from McQueen's perfect, sculpted lips. "Well, aren't you a dainty little tank engine?" McQueen trailed off, his eyes falling gently down to Thomas's décolletage. I'm sure I pronounced that incorrectly. "I actually do need help finding some fresh motor oil. I'm new to this area, so I haven't had the privilege of getting myself familiar with the treasures this shop has in store." He laughed and shot him a smirk, his blue eyes twinkling mischievously. "It's just over here." As Thomas navigated McQueen through the aisles of car equipment, he grew increasingly flustered as he felt McQueen's ravenous gaze trailing down his caboose. "This is our finest oil," Thomas explained, gesturing with his wheels. "It is excellent for many different purposes. Would you mind educating me on a few of its more, for lack of a better word, risque uses?" McQueen asked with a wink. Thomas was stunned. Lightning McQueen was flirting with him? McQueen added, "Don't be shy." He winked and revved up his engine. Vroom, vroom. Smoke billowed from Thomas's smokestacks, and he could feel the heat rising in his engine. How embarrassing. "Okay, Thomas, get it together." "I'm not sure exactly how to explain it to you, Lightning. It would be a lot easier if I could just show you," Thomas told him softly. "Is that an offer?" McQueen questioned with a sultry purr. Thomas nodded, and before he had a chance to prepare himself, Lightning seized Thomas by the pilot and shifted into reverse, drawing him into the dimly lit garage at the back of the shop. "You should know, Thomas, vanilla relationships aren't my type. I like my love spicy, like I like my flamin' hot Cheetos. I think I'm ready to try anything if I get to do it with you, babe," Thomas told him. It was meant to be sexy, but he couldn't make the affectionate tone his voice held when he spoke with Lightning. McQueen bit his lip. All right, Thomas, let's have some fun. I'll fuck you until your oil bubbles. Our safe word is Toyota." This is all I could think of, LMAO, sorry, in parentheses. Thomas nodded, glancing down. He was ready to embrace McQueen's tasteful kinks in his role as the submissive partner. His musk alone was the most potent aphrodisiac Thomas had ever encountered. "Do you trust me?" McQueen asked seductively, his eyes dancing playfully. Letting out a warm breath of air, Thomas surrendered his control. "Yes, anything for you." Thomas let out a soft moan as McQueen began to rub him first on the buffers, then on the chassis. He knew what he was doing. His tires had a superior tread that were ideal for massaging anyone into ecstasy. "Harder, please," Thomas whispered. He watched McQueen's broad figure flex and felt his warm breath. "I need you to beg." "Please," Thomas said. "Make love to me. I beg you." Without caution, McQueen thrust his steel parts into Thomas's delicate workings. His engine roared and exhaust clouded the room in its finest mist. His pheromones undeniably turned Thomas on like a light bulb, and Thomas felt a pulse in his boiler, growing more heated with every skilled maneuver McQueen made. He thought his wheels were going to fall apart because his bolts were rattling. McQueen plunged deeper into him, revving his engine and accelerating. He let out a deep groan. They were both on the fast track to approaching a climax. McQueen gave it all that he had left to close that gap. "Ka-chow!" he yelled as he reached his climax. A rod of lightning buzzed through Thomas, and every gear in his body clenched. His sharp whistle blew harder than it ever had, like a tea kettle whose water was about to boil over, and a wave of relief washed over him. The two of them collapsed next to each other. They were panting hard, exhausted, and beads of perspiration raced down their skin. Do cars have skin? In parentheses. McQueen leaned in to kiss Thomas intimately. They reveled in each other's caring touch for a few moments, their hearts eventually slowing down to a relaxed beat. Thomas broke the silence. "That was amazing," he grinned, stroking McQueen's hood. There's only one more sentence. "It was my pleasure," McQueen said. "We should do this again. This is just the beginning. Oh, the things I could do to you." Wait, continue reading. Uh-oh. I guess there might need to be a part 2. Oh, boy. Thanks for watching. Like always, I'm reading these. This is my first take, and the first time I'm seeing these stories. They're being recommended to me on Patreon, patreon.com/regretfulreads, through the email, regretfulreads@gmail.com, and on Twitter, twitter.com/regretfulreads. Plus, in the comments. But it seems like people in the comments regret too much to even think of wanting to recommend more. So, show your support if you want to. I'll see you next time. Take care.